IVM.
You are the most valuable investment you will ever make. Hi, I'm Zarina Poonawalla, your leadership coach, life coach, and emotional intelligence coach. You probably know me from the Empowering series, and this is my new show, the Life Manifesto with Zarina Poonawalla. I'm going to coach you to be the best version of yourselves. So get ready to create, attain, and manifest the life you've always desired and make it your reality. So, my precious people, we have come to the end of our Love Month theme. And I've talked about many things, many unusual, unconventional things like opening up your heart again, understanding red flags, redefining love, all of that. But there's something that I knew I wanted to end this theme with, because this is a topic and this is a very important, interesting concept which people are still educating themselves with. And I thought, why not talk about it, because we still are talking about love. When we talk about love, we romanticize that emotion, and when we romanticize it, we tend to sexualize it, right? You think of sexual pleasures quite naturally. You think of all the running around trees and sharing Valentine cards quite naturally. You think about little hearts and flowers and bouquets and certain amount of expectations quite naturally, because you romanticize that emotion and then you sexualize it. But there is something we're only coming to understand now, that all love need not be sexual or romantic. Now, while some of you may get this, most are still struggling with this concept. So let me explain love to you through something that exists, and it is very real: asexuality and aromanticism. There are people who are asexuals and aromantics. That is a sexual orientation, or let's say just the way they feel, just the way they are built or made. Let's understand them a little, because that is also important to understand in love. Asexuality is an orientation defined by a lack of sexual attraction. Basically, an asexual person does not feel attraction towards any gender, and let's say has little or no sexual desires whatsoever. They aren't really looking out for a sexual relationship, Now, there are some interesting facts related to asexuality. Asexuality does not mean celibacy. Okay, celibacy is a choice. It is a choice where you are refraining from sex or sexual activities or sexual behavior for a particular reason, right? It could be religious, spiritual, it could be anything. Whereas asexuality is not so much a choice. It is just the way they are. They are asexuals. Basically, they don't have urges or feelings that they need to try and refrain from. It is the way they are. Another interesting thing here is that there are a few identities under this umbrella, like grey sexuality, meaning someone who has sexual attractions very, very rarely, but they do so. And there is also demisexuality, where sexual attraction only occurs when they have deeply connected with someone. So when somebody is deeply connected, they can actually have a sexual attraction, not otherwise. Almost like a soul connection. And one more thing, very interestingly, that you need to know about asexuality is it has nothing to do with your ability to perform. It has nothing to do with a high or low libido. It has nothing to do with your sexual possibilities. It has nothing to do with your sexual abilities. Asexuality is not a medical condition. It is a sexual orientation. Now, a little bit about aromantics, because this can be confusing too. People often confuse asexuals with aromantics. So, aromantics are people who may experience sexual attraction, but they don't feel emotionally needy, if you know what I mean. They can feel sexually attracted, but they don't have any romantic requirements in a relationship. And that's why they're usually comfortable with platonic relationships. They're happy with really close family, friends, a very close best friend. They're happy with people around them who are not romantically connected to them, but they are connected to them deeply. Now, some interesting trivia on aromantics. They can be asexual or not. They can be attracted to any gender and they can identify under any sexual orientation. They also have plenty under their identity umbrella, like grey romantics, demi-romantics, polyromantics, to name a few. Aromantics can have crushes and they can deeply connect with somebody, feel for somebody, but yet not feel starry-eyed about it. Alright, so aromantics do not feel attraction. They can feel attraction, they can want sexual relationships with somebody, but they do not necessarily come with a checklist of romance and the criteria of romance that comes in a relationship. This is just to help you understand that there is nothing wrong with asexuality or aromanticism. It is an understanding about their level of sexual intention or romanticism, and while these two can be intertwined, they are not necessarily correlated. The most important thing, the reason why I'm actually sharing this with you today is because I really need you to remember this. Asexuals and aromantics are not insensitive or heartless people. They love deeply, they love wholeheartedly, and they love freely. And their form of love is as beautiful as any other. And I need you to remember that when you think about love. When you think about love, it's not just pretty little heart eyes, it's not just flowers and pretty things. It's much more than that. It's a feeling. And that feeling can exist for anybody, any of us. It's only a matter of defining it the way we like it. On that note, do what you love and do it often. And if you don't like something, go ahead and change it. The power is within you. Thank you for tuning in to the Life Manifesto with me, Zarina. If you find the show useful, then please share it with your friends, family, and co-workers. You never know, you may just help someone become the best version of themselves. And if you want to align your life with some signature masterclasses, certification courses, and live sessions with me, go check out and download my app, Life Manifesto with Zarina Poonawalla, available on Play Store or Apple Store. And if you have any suggestions or anything that you would like to share with me, get in touch with me on my social media handles. I am at Zarina Poonawalla on Instagram and LinkedIn, and at Zarina Speaks on Twitter. See you in the next episode.
Hello. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Raw and Organic, Kunal talks to Shivjit Gatke and Zahir Khan about how they came up with Step Set Go, a bootstrap startup. On Khel Niti, friend of the network Saurabh Pant joins Rajiv Mishra, Ayaz Memon and Sabah Karim to preview the India vs Sri Lanka series. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam speaks to Ram Iyer. He is the founder and CEO of the Vian Network. They discuss how trade finance works for local shops and SMEs. What is an oblate spheroid? The Simplified hosts deconstruct the American football game and all there is to it. And on the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik is in conversation with the Delhi High Court advocate Rohan Alva. They talk about his book, Liberty After Freedom, a history of Article 21, due process, and the Constitution of India. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. It really helps us. Don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms that you're listening to. And also remember, you can check us out on YouTube at www.ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and HDFC Life Insurance. Thank you so much for making this possible.
We face 100 dilemmas every day while raising our children and nurturing our families. Why not let science help us make informed decisions to solve our dilemmas? Hi, I'm Devi Shobha.
And I'm Meghna. We host Big Talk About Tiny Humans, where we will help you unpack challenges around parenting and your child's development.
And more importantly, we will equip you with research-backed strategies that you can readily act on.
Tune in to our podcast every Wednesday on the IVM Podcasts app, website, or your favorite podcast platforms.